Why was fasting important to you from the onset?
Well, fasting was important to me because I realized that food for me had become a bad relationship. I remember real young, when I had Fruit Loops, let's say, I could still remember that drug-like effect from Fruit Loops. And realizing that unconsciously, whenever I felt bad, I would go directly to that feeling of having something like Fruit Loops, even though I wasn't having Fruit Loops anymore, because it wouldn't make sense, let's say, to my training protocol. But one thing I did have forms of recreational drugs that would allow, like in a more healthy way, right? I found a way of making more healthy that I would use as a compensation because I just want to feel good right now. So I realized that every human just wants to feel good at all times, but they don't know what it really feels like on a healthy level to feel good. And with that, when I decided to fast, it was like, okay, you know what? I've had too many bad relationships, like let's say with the opposite sex. How about I take a step back and I realize what is most meaningful for me? I would say it this way: food and being taken advantage of in a relationship. I'll use an example to show how both of them are the same. See, you could have someone that speaks to you with super beautiful words. They enchant you with their words, with making you feel like as if they're there for you. And I feel like food and advertising and its smell, it's like it's so like over the top, all over the place, that it makes you feel like, oh my goodness, it could only care about me. But in the end, you realize that, wait a minute, the next morning, you don't feel good about this. As the relationship goes on, there's more consequence on your body that you're being abused here in some way. You don't feel good about this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, food, just like someone that took my money with their beautiful words, are the same. You know, they made themselves look so good, but it's not giving me anything that's good. So I'm like, maybe I need to separate myself from that relationship to be able to realize what is good in reality. So by creating this silence, by avoiding what was, appearing good, I took a break from it, and I'm allowing the purity now of the foods that are better for me to speak to me. Or the people that really have my back, how does it feel to be with people that really care about you? They don't have to use all those words. Their presence speaks it. So I felt the presence now of what really it is to feel the presence of something in my system from food, or from someone that really has my back, not someone that says it. So now I don't have to be gullible. Now I could tell the difference. And I think a lot of people have problems with food because they do not know what is authentically making them feel better. And that's why I want to be a spokesperson in demonstration of, well, this is how you could have an inspiration of what you ate at the restaurant, but adjust it in a way that serves you, where you're like, you know what? I could feel my body getting better. Versus I could feel my body getting worse instantly. I could feel someone that really cares about me instantly. I could feel that someone is maybe after me instantly. So this clarity of mind to what really is in that present moment is what we come back to, living in the present. And I don't think people have that because they're so stressed with their everyday lives. There's something that we're trying to escape from, and people don't realize that there is something that we do not talk about our everyday shows. That's why our mind doesn't go there, our attention doesn't go there, and it's that existential void. So for me, perhaps even when I had a good career, there was an existential void that made me angry. And there's not one negative emotion that doesn't have a positive message to you of, hey, pay attention to something deeper. But I don't have examples to emulate. I don't have an example of what to do when I have those negative emotions, because we don't see it on our TV. We don't see it with the people around us. So fasting enabled me to kind of connect, because it's like, look, you might die here because you're not eating food. So anything that's not meaningful to you, will become clear to you, and you will detach from that burden. And the things that are really meaningful to you, now you feel light and you float towards them. And it's like, I wouldn't want to spend any other amount of my time with those things, with food. And now I could feel food taking such good care of me. I feel like my body from the inside is giving me a high five. And I know how to have restaurant style food mixed with homemade creativity in a simple way where people could be like, wow, I could feel my brain functioning better. I could feel my energy levels getting better. Hey, I feel like I have an emotional grip over myself. Hey, it's like all these things are waiting to be discovered, but because people have such poor discipline, they will go to extreme diets and then they will stop with it, but they don't have the discipline to stick with a diet. But even going in a diet is a burden. Can I live a lifestyle that's not a burden, where it's so good that the addiction I have to feeling better for real and not just feeling good? See, better is a direction. As I'm feeling better in my mental, emotional, and physical state, I will feel like as if I'm addicted to that feeling now. I don't have a problem with addicted with being better. So what I'm proposing is a thing of there's habits of disempowerment and there's habits of power. You don't want to mix them, right? So what I want for people to do is like, okay, keep going with this drug-like effect that you've been seeking your whole life, right? But now at least shorten the window in which you eat it so that you can make a better decision. Because you're just too addicted, you can't handle having small snacks throughout the day, you're never going to eat the right thing. So if you're not eating at all, you'd actually have more mental clarity. And you'd be better able to assess that, hey, wait a minute, you're going to tell me with these 2 meals I had, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, I actually feel better than when I was snacking garbage all day. Well, that's how you're going to know it's garbage. That truth will set you free. You have to be able to feel that. So this is what I'm proposing here. Now, when you're going to be having those 2 meals, let's say one at 5 p.m. and one at 8 p.m., not too close to your bedtime, you're going to be able to compress everything that you're supposed to have, but in a format of a food that you're addicted to. It's going to look like something you're addicted to, but it was modified in a way that there's nothing that's going to harm your system. You're going to feel now throughout the rest of your day that, hey, you know what? I have more focus. I have more energy. So unless you could feel that instantly, you're never going to stick with it. And that's why people never stick with a diet. They expect it's a physical on the outside, how much weight they lost. It means it works. But it's more like in how much better that you feel, that means it works. And it's going to be easier for you to be motivated to do exercise because your body's like, I want to exercise now because I feel good. Why? Because I feel like I have more energy when I exercise, and you don't even know why. Well, it's because of the oxygenation to your brain that's increased because you breathe better and there's more blood flow to your brain. So you'd be like, oh, wow, then I like this exercise thing now. Now, see, now it's not being used as a form of escapism exercise. You know, like I'm just trying to just forget my pain. I'm just going through it, and then maybe I'm going to feel better. See, you're escaping from the present moment, but you're more intimate with the exercise, and you're intimate with how it makes you feel the next day. With food, you're not just going through the diet, escaping from being intimate with what you're eating and why you're eating it. And now when you're connected to it, it's like, wow, I remember every bite I took. I remember every moment I prepared it. And now the next day, you're like, oh, wow. So this is what it feels like to feel better. And that's what I want people to be able to discover. Get intimate with the things that you do. Even if it's something that's uncomfortable, hey, what's really going on here? And then you could see yourself in the other person, and you could see that that person that's maybe yelling at you or having a bad day is maybe as someone that used to eat and exercise and treat their sleep the same way that you used to. And now you have compassion for them. It's like they're just having a bad day. And you could really be with that person, right? So that lifestyle will change your whole mindset, and it will give you clarity in the present moment of what's going on, so you don't need to escape the realities of your everyday life. And what you really, 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 really want to do in life, you'll be able to compare it to what you're really, really, really doing in life right now, which there's a big gap in between them. But you at some point believe that you don't have the time for that. And if you don't have time for yourself and what matters for you, then you'll spend that pain will have you escaping from reality all day. And now food's going to turn against you. Your exercise is going to turn against you because you're only going to be living for what you project as having it together, while your mask is leaking mascara under, meaning there's tears under that mask of I got it all together. And that's why you're running left and right to escape from your everyday living. People have like food, like I said, it's like recreational drugs. They have activities which are like recreational drugs. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with comedy shows. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with spending your whole night watching Netflix. But could it be me escaping from something that is so miserable in my daily life? And that's what I want people to be thinking about. Could I be running away from something I don't want to be living on a regular basis? And that's why I have such a strong pull and addiction towards those things. So it's my relationship with those things and what I might be escaping from. And having the courage to be myself and to go for what is most meaningful to me. So when you connect to that, then even if you were getting a slap in the face from life, you would have a deeper meaning from it, and you would grow from that. And you wouldn't take it personally, and you wouldn't assume what's really going on to you. because people are just used to having bad things come to them and them having to escape into things that are only harming them. I want people to run towards the things that are saving them, and it could have the appearance of something of a drug-like effect, but a drug-like effect that you're getting therapy. And I'll give you a last example. Let's look at a massage. Why does a massage work for you? Because your mind, your heart, and your body do not want to miss 1 second from what you're feeling. You're allowing yourself to be changed that moment. See, food, when it's a drug-like, it's like, just get the drugs into my veins. There's a comedy show, you're just laughing. Is there something that you should be taking care of, such as how are you going to fix your bills? So I'm trying to say that's why it works. So those therapies, when it doesn't work and you keep going to them, it's because nothing changed in what needed to change in your life. And if they did, you'd spend less time in them. And then they would have even a more beneficial impact on you. Because what matters with you, you're going to spend more time having that after work and during your work. And then you'll have less need to escape in things that have never served you and that keep you away from addressing the things that you need to have courage to address. And when you do so, the way you will be, people will feel like, you know what? This person's not out to get me. This person loves what they're doing, and I want to be with someone like that. And that's how you naturally attract more people into your expertise, because now your expertise is reinforced by your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is reinforced by who you really are. Because you know who you really are, you want to make sure nothing is going to ruin that. Not by your health. You're not going to assume that it's not that bad. You're going to make sure it's freaking amazing. But you need to be able to feel in real time that you're doing better, that you're feeling better, and that you could feel that your body's feeling better. And on that note, I thank you for asking me that question. That's why I fasted.